25 veggies you can still plant in November. Hey there, my fellow plant lovers. Welcome back to Earthly Delights. If you're someone who finds peace in the quiet rhythm of watering your plants, who smiles when you see the first green sprout breaking through the soil, or who can't resist sneaking out to the garden just to check on your greens, then this video is for you. Because even though November has rolled in with its cool air and golden leaves, it doesn't mean your garden has to rest. In fact, this might just be the perfect time to plant again. You see, real gardeners, people like you and me, don't stop when the weather changes. We adapt. We learn the secrets of the cold, and we turn what looks like the end of the season into a new beginning. Today, I'm going to show you 25 veggies you can still plant right now in November. Vegetables that don't just survive the chill, they love it. Whether you're tending a big backyard, growing in raised beds, or just nurturing pots on your balcony, there's something here for you. We'll talk about the crops that laugh at frost, the roots that grow sweeter in the cold, and the herbs that bring life to your kitchen all winter long. So grab your gloves, pour a warm drink, and let's dig into what you can still grow this season. And hey, if you love connecting with nature and turning every corner of your home into a little green haven, make sure to subscribe to Earthly Delights and hit that bell so you don't miss the next gardening adventure. Part 1. The cold-hardy powerhouse family, brassicas. When the air turns crisp and the mornings shimmer with frost, this family of vegetables stands tall, strong, green, and fearless. The brassicas are nature's warriors of winter. From kale to cabbage, these plants don't just survive the cold. They thrive in it, offering you rich harvests long after most gardens have gone to sleep. 1. Kale, the resilient winter king. If there's one plant that truly embodies strength and renewal, it's kale. Even when the frost paints your garden silver, kale stands proud, deep green leaves curling with life, as if defying the cold itself. For gardeners who crave something reliable and rewarding, kale is your winter hero. It doesn't demand much, just a bit of sunlight, a touch of moisture, and your patience. Plant a few seedlings now, and by the time most gardens lie dormant, yours will still be brimming with vitality. Kale loves the cold because frost actually makes it sweeter. Each chilly night turns its starches into sugars, giving those leaves a crisp, mellow flavor that's perfect for soups, salads, or morning smoothies. And here's a secret. It's a cut-and-come-again crop. Pick a few leaves and the plant keeps growing, giving you harvest after harvest all winter long. For anyone nurturing a small garden, a patio setup, or even an indoor grow-light corner, kale proves that resilience is beautiful. 2. Collard greens, the southern soul of winter. Collard greens are like that quiet, dependable friend who always shows up, strong, steady, and full of warmth. When November's chill starts creeping in, collards come alive, their broad, waxy leaves soaking in the cool air like they were made for it. For generations, gardeners have called this plant the comfort crop, and once you grow it, you'll understand why. Collards thrive in the same conditions as kale, but offer a deeper, heartier flavor. Rich and earthy, with a hint of sweetness that intensifies after a frost. They're perfect for those who love slow-cooked stews or hearty side dishes straight from the garden. Plant them in rows or large containers. Give them a bit of room to spread their lush leaves, and they'll reward you with an endless harvest. What makes collards special for home gardeners is how forgiving they are. They'll grow in partial sun, tolerate less than perfect soil, and bounce back after trimming. And if you're gardening on a balcony or small patio, they make stunning container plants, decorative and delicious. Collard greens remind us that with patience and care, even in the coldest months, life in the garden can be rich, steady, and full of flavor. 3. Bok choy, the elegant fast grower. Bok choy, also known as pak choy, is the graceful dancer of the winter garden. Crisp, tender, and vibrant even in the chill of November. If you're the kind of gardener who loves quick results, this is your dream plant. Bok choy matures fast, often within 30 to 40 days, making it one of the most rewarding vegetables to grow during the cold months. Its glossy green leaves and white stalks bring life and beauty to your beds or pots, like living art in the fading light of autumn. This Asian green thrives in cooler temperatures, resisting bolting that usually happens in summer heat. You can sow seeds directly into the soil or grow them in containers near a sunny window if you're short on space. With just moderate watering and a bit of mulch for insulation, Bok choy will reward you with crisp stems, perfect for stir-fries, soups, or quick salads. What gardeners love most about bok choy is its versatility. You can harvest it young as baby bok choy for tender leaves, or let it mature for fuller heads. It's a plant that adapts, just like those of us who keep growing, even when the world slows down. 4. Arugula. The fiery little leaf arugula, or rocket as some call it, is the spark that lights up any November garden. Don't let its delicate appearance fool you. This leafy green thrives in the cold, bursting with that peppery bite gardeners and food lovers adore. When other plants slow down, arugula takes the stage, growing fast and strong, especially when the weather cools. For those of you with small gardens, balconies, or indoor grow trays, arugula is a perfect fit. It doesn't need much space, and you can harvest it just 3 weeks after sowing. Snip the outer leaves and let the center regrow. It's another cut-and-come-again miracle for your kitchen. Cold temperatures bring out arugula's best flavor. Slightly spicy yet mellow, a reminder that sometimes a little struggle brings out the best in us too. It pairs beautifully with citrus, eggs, or roasted veggies, adding a bright note to winter meals. So if you're the kind of gardener who loves bold flavor and fast rewards, plant arugula now. Even in November when the world feels quiet, this fiery little leaf will keep your garden and your spirit alive. 5. Cabbage. The patient giant of the garden cabbage is the quiet powerhouse that rewards patience with abundance. As the days grow shorter and the air cools, this sturdy vegetable begins its slow, steady transformation, curling its outer leaves inward to form a tight, crisp head. It's a marvel of nature's engineering, wrapping layers of nourishment and protection against the cold. For gardeners who love order and growth, you can see, cabbage is deeply satisfying. It doesn't rush. It teaches patience. Plant it in well-drained soil with a bit of compost and give each head room to stretch its broad green leaves. A little frost won't hurt it. In fact, like many winter crops, the cold turns its flavor sweeter. You can grow both green and red varieties, and if you stagger your planting every few weeks, you'll have fresh heads well into spring. Cabbage thrives in garden beds, but does surprisingly well in deep containers too. Perfect for those tending small patios or urban spaces. Watching those tight, glossy leaves unfold over the weeks is pure joy. By the time you harvest, you'll feel like you've grown a gift, one that nourishes, strengthens, and lasts. 6. Broccoli, the crown of cold weather. Few things say cool season success like a head of fresh, homegrown broccoli. With its deep green florets standing proudly on thick stalks, broccoli is a symbol of perseverance. It loves the cold. In fact, the chill brings out its best flavor and crisp texture. For gardeners who crave a little challenge and big reward, broccoli delivers. Plant your seedlings in well-fed soil and watch them flourish as the days grow cool. The trick is succession planting. Stagger your sowing so you don't end up with a dozen heads maturing all at once. Harvest the main crown when it's full and firm, and the plant will surprise you with smaller side shoots that keep producing for weeks. Broccoli looks tough, but it's surprisingly elegant. Its roots anchor deep, drawing nutrients that fortify its compact green crowns. And when you steam or roast it, you'll taste the difference. A sweetness that only cold weather can create. For small space gardeners, broccoli grows beautifully in raised beds or large containers. With a little care and a lot of patience, this cold weather champion will make your November garden feel alive and thriving. 7. Cauliflower, the gentle perfectionist. Cauliflower is like that friend who's a bit particular, but always worth the effort. It prefers cool, steady weather, not too warm, not too dry. And when you give it what it loves, it rewards you with creamy white heads that look almost sculpted. In November, when the sun softens and the nights grow crisp, cauliflower finds its moment to shine. It's a crop that asks for attention, but gives back generously. Start with healthy seedlings. Give them plenty of compost and water consistently. Unlike broccoli, cauliflower only gives you one main head, so it's worth taking your time to nurture it. When the curds begin to form, tuck the outer leaves gently over them to blanch and protect that beautiful white color from sunlight. It's a simple touch, but it makes your harvest restaurant-worthy. For gardeners working with limited space, cauliflower does great in raised beds or large pots. It just needs depth for its roots and enough airflow to prevent moisture buildup. And when it's ready, that first harvest feels magical, soft, pure, and full of flavor. Steamed, roasted, or mashed, Cauliflower proves that patience in the garden brings quiet, delicious rewards. 8. Kohlrabi, the hidden gem of the brassica family. Kohlrabi might look like something from another planet, a pale green or purple bulb with leaves sprouting from its sides. But it's one of the most charming vegetables you can grow in November. Sweet, crisp, and mildly peppery, it's like a blend between a cabbage and an apple. It's also one of the fastest maturing members of the brassica family, ready for harvest in as little as 6 weeks. For gardeners who love to experiment, kohlrabi is a joy. It doesn't need much space, making it perfect for raised beds, balcony containers, or tight garden rows. The bulb itself grows above the soil, so you can watch its quirky shape form day by day. And the best part? Both the bulb and the leaves are edible. Saute the greens, slice the bulb raw for crunch, or roast it for a nutty flavor. Kohlrabi thrives in the cold, even improving in flavor after a light frost. It's resilient, low maintenance, and strikingly beautiful, especially the purple varieties that glow against the muted tones of fall. If your garden feels dull this time of year, plant kohlrabi and watch it bring life and curiosity back to your November beds. 9. Mustard greens, the fiery soul of the fall garden. If your November garden feels a little sleepy, mustard greens will wake it right up. Bold, fast-growing, and full of flavor, these spicy leaves bring both color and character to the colder months. From deep emeralds to purple streaked with red veins, mustard greens add beauty as much as they add bite. They grow quickly, thriving in cool soil and forgiving gardeners who may have waited a little too long to plant. For those who crave flavor and energy in their cooking, mustard greens are a must. Their peppery kick mellows when cooked, becoming earthy and rich. Perfect for stir-fries, soups, or even sautéed with garlic and olive oil. They're also among the easiest leafy greens to grow. Just scatter the seeds, water them lightly, and within a few weeks you'll have lush, full leaves ready to harvest. If you live in a mild zone, mustard greens will keep producing deep into winter. Even in colder areas, a bit of frost cover helps them survive and sweetens their flavor. For container gardeners, they're a joy. Compact, colorful, and quick. Mustard greens remind every gardener that a little spice is what keeps the garden and the gardener alive through the chill. 10. Turnips, the 2-in-1 winter classic. Turnips are the humble heroes of the cold season. Simple, hearty, and surprisingly generous. In November, when most vegetables start to fade, turnips take root and thrive. What makes them so rewarding is their dual gift: the tender greens above the soil and the crisp, sweet roots below. It's like growing 2 crops in one. Sow them directly into your garden beds or containers, spacing the seeds about 1 inch apart. Within days, they'll sprout bright green leaves that can be harvested early for salads or cooked dishes. Meanwhile, beneath the surface, the round white or purple bulbs begin forming, mild and juicy when young, richer and sweeter as they mature in the cold. Frost doesn't scare turnips, it makes them better. The cold triggers a sugar boost, transforming their flavor from earthy to almost fruity. If your soil stays workable through winter, you can keep them in the ground and harvest as needed. Nature's own storage system. For anyone looking to get the most out of a small space or short season, turnips are pure magic. They prove that even in the quiet of November, the soil still hums with possibility and life. Part 2. Sweet roots for cold soil. When winter begins to whisper through the garden, something magical happens beneath the surface. The soil cools, the air sharpens, and that's when the sweetest roots begin to grow. Carrots, beets, and radishes don't just survive the cold, they embrace it, turning starch into sugar and storing warmth deep underground. These humble crops prove that beauty often grows where you least expect it. 11. Carrots, the sweetheart of the cold garden. Carrots are nature's little miracles hidden beneath the soil. As temperatures drop, something wonderful happens inside those roots. Their starches turn to sugars, giving you that crisp, candy-like sweetness no summer carrot can match. November is the perfect time to plant them, especially for gardeners who love surprises, because the best part of growing carrots is the anticipation. You can't see them growing, but you know they're there, quietly thriving under the cold earth. Carrots prefer loose, well-drained soil, raised beds, deep containers, or any spot that lets their roots stretch down freely. The trick to success is moisture and patience. Keep the soil gently damp, and if you're expecting heavy rain, cover the seeds with a board or light mulch to keep them from washing away. In a week or two, you'll see fine, feathery greens reaching up to the light. Once they're growing, the cold will do the rest. Frost won't harm them, it sweetens them. You can even leave them in the ground through winter, pulling up what you need when you need it. For small space gardeners, few crops offer such big rewards from such simple care. Every time you harvest a carrot in midwinter, it's like uncovering a bit of buried sunshine. 12 beets the color of winter's heart. Beets are the jewels of the November garden. Earthy, sweet, and glowing with shades of deep crimson, golden amber, or creamy white. They're proof that even in the coldest months, color and life can thrive just beneath the surface. Beets are remarkably resilient. While their leaves may wilt slightly in frost, the roots keep growing strong, protected by the soil's steady warmth. Direct sow beet seeds in well-loosened soil, spacing them a few inches apart. Within a couple of weeks, you'll see sturdy green leaves rise. Don't waste them. Beet greens are delicious, packed with nutrients, and can be harvested long before the roots mature. The bulbs themselves grow quietly beneath the ground, transforming from tiny marbles to sweet, dense globes as winter deepens. The beauty of beets is in their dual purpose. They're both root and green, food and art. Roast them for a caramel flavor, juice them for energy, or slice them raw into salads for a vibrant crunch. If you protect them with a thin layer of mulch, you can harvest all winter long. Beets remind gardeners of resilience and reward, that even when the world turns gray, something beautiful is still growing, waiting to be found. 13 radishes. The speedy stars of November, radishes are the gardener's instant gratification. The quick little miracles that remind us how alive soil can be, even when the air turns cold. Plant them in November, and within 3 weeks, you'll already be pulling out crisp, colorful roots bursting with flavor. They're perfect for anyone who wants to see results fast. From beginners learning their first planting rhythm to seasoned growers who crave a quick win between slower crops. What makes radishes so special in late fall is how the cold transforms their character. The sharp heat of summer radishes softens, replaced by a gentle, juicy crunch that's almost sweet. Their roots swell quickly in the cool soil, while their leafy tops add a touch of wild green to winter beds. Even a small patch of ground or a few pots on your balcony can give you a steady supply of these cheerful little bulbs. They're also wonderful teachers. If your soil is too compact, they'll show you. If your watering is uneven, they'll tell you with shape and size. And when everything aligns, the reward is instant. Fresh, peppery roots you can slice into salads or roast whole for a mellow, nutty flavor. Radishes prove that gardening doesn't have to wait for spring. Sometimes all it takes is a handful of seeds and a few cool nights to remind you that growth is always possible. 14. Daikon radish, the giant, gentle root. While regular radishes are like tiny sparks of energy, daikon is the calm strength of winter, a long, elegant root that thrives in cold soil and rewards patience. Originating from Asia, daikon has been cherished for centuries as a symbol of endurance and balance. When planted in November, it grows deep and steady, producing thick, smooth roots that can reach impressive lengths, yet stay tender and mild in flavor. For gardeners who love to experiment, daikon is a must-try. It breaks up compact soil naturally, acting as a living tiller that improves the ground for future crops. Sow seeds directly into loose soil, give them room to stretch, and keep the area lightly moist. Within a few weeks, you'll see tall, leafy tops waving proudly, a sign of the hidden beauty growing below. What's remarkable about daikon is its adaptability. It can handle light frosts, and the cold only makes its flesh sweeter and crisper. In the kitchen, it's endlessly versatile. Shredded for fresh salads, sliced into soups, or fermented into pickles that brighten winter meals. Daikon teaches patience and quiet reward. It reminds us that not all growth is visible. Some of it happens deep within, quietly preparing for the right moment to be revealed. Part 3. Salad Lovers' November Dream. When the world outside turns gray, a bowl of fresh greens feels like pure sunlight. And the secret is, you can still grow them right now. November isn't the end of salad season. It's simply a shift in rhythm. With the right cool-loving varieties, your garden beds, balcony pots, or even window boxes can overflow with crisp, tender leaves that thrive in the chill. 15. Cold-tolerant lettuces, the frost-kissed greens. There's something magical about harvesting lettuce when frost sparkles across the morning garden. The cold doesn't harm these resilient greens. It enhances them, making the leaves crisp, tender, and full of subtle sweetness. Varieties like red sails, winter density, and marvel of four seasons were practically made for this season. They're rich in color, texture, and flavor, turning even a simple salad into something worth celebrating. Cold-tolerant lettuces are perfect for gardeners who crave beauty as much as bounty. The ruby hues of red sails, the buttery folds of winter density, and the blushing tones of marvel of four seasons look stunning in garden beds and pots alike. You can sow them directly in the soil or grow them in shallow containers. Just make sure they get enough light and moisture. Unlike summer lettuces that bolt at the first sign of heat, these thrive in cool air. The trick is to harvest often, snip the outer leaves, and let the plant regrow from the center, keeping a constant supply of fresh greens. If you live in a colder zone, a bit of row cover or a cold frame will keep them happy all winter. These lettuces remind us that freshness isn't only a spring thing. It's something you can nurture, leaf by leaf, even in November's quiet. 16. Romaine, Caesar lettuce, the classic winter crisp. Romaine lettuce is the old soul of the salad world. Dependable, satisfying, and full of character. While most gardeners think of it as a warm weather crop, it actually thrives when the days are cool and the sunlight soft. The trick lies in how and where you plant it. In November, sow your romaine in containers or grow bags placed against a sunny south-facing wall. That small patch of warmth will protect it from frost and help it grow beautifully through winter. Romaine is slower to mature than leaf lettuces, but the reward is worth it. Tall, crunchy leaves with a clean, sweet flavor that only improves in cold air. It doesn't just grow, it builds itself upward, layer by layer, like a green tower of life. With regular watering and a bit of compost-rich soil, it will stay strong through light freezes. For those gardening in small urban spaces, romaine is a perfect match. It grows vertically, saving space while giving you that satisfying harvest of fresh, firm heads. And when you cut into one, hearing that crisp snap, it feels like a victory against the season itself. Romaine proves that with a little creativity, even the chill of November can taste refreshingly alive. 17. Spinach, the iron leaf of winter. Spinach is the quiet champion of cold weather gardening, humble yet mighty. When most crops bow to frost, spinach stands tall, its dark green leaves glistening with morning dew. It doesn't just survive winter, it embraces it. In fact, the colder it gets, the sweeter and more tender the leaves become. This is a plant made for people who can't imagine a kitchen without something fresh and green, no matter the season. You can grow spinach almost anywhere, in raised beds, containers, or tucked between other plants. Scatter the seeds generously and thin them once they sprout, or let them grow densely for a continuous baby leaf harvest. With just a bit of care, spinach rewards you for months, especially if you harvest the outer leaves and let the plant regrow. For small space gardeners, spinach is a blessing. It grows fast, doesn't need much light, and actually prefers the chill. A simple row cover or a sunny windowsill is enough to keep it happy all through winter. Packed with nutrients, it's the kind of food that keeps both your body and your spirit strong when the days get darker. Spinach reminds us that even in life's coldest moments, growth never stops. It just changes pace. 18. Mash, corn salad, the tender jewel of winter gardens. Mash, also known as corn salad, is one of the best-kept secrets of the winter garden. This delicate little green, native to Europe, thrives in cold soil and short days. A true gift for gardeners who refuse to let winter win. Its small spoon-shaped leaves form rosettes of soft, buttery texture and a mild, nutty flavor that feels like spring in the middle of November. Plant mash directly into your garden beds or containers, and it will quietly grow through frost, even light snow. It doesn't need much, just moist soil and a bit of patience. In fact, it prefers cool weather so much that too much warmth can make it sulk. It's perfect for those who want effortless beauty and flavor without constant attention. Harvest mash gently by cutting the outer rosettes or pulling the whole cluster when full-grown. It's perfect for salads, sandwiches, or as a garnish for roasted vegetables. The leaves are tender but surprisingly durable once harvested, lasting longer than most greens. For indoor gardeners or those in harsh zones, mache grows beautifully in pots under a bright window. It's the kind of plant that whispers calm and brings joy with every tiny leaf. Proof that even the smallest things can make winter feel warm. Part 4, Cut and Come, Again Champions. Some plants don't just give once, they give again and again, rewarding your care with endless harvests. These are the true partners of the winter gardener, resilient, generous, and full of life. In November, while others rest, these greens and herbs keep growing strong, reminding us that with the right touch, the garden never truly stops giving. 19. Swiss chard. The colorful survivor, Swiss chard, is the artist of the winter garden. A vibrant burst of color when everything else fades to gray. Its stems glow in shades of ruby, gold, and ivory, while its glossy green leaves stand tall through frost and wind. This plant doesn't just grow, it thrives on resilience. For gardeners who crave beauty and bounty in one, chard is the perfect companion through November and beyond. What makes Swiss chard so special is its generosity. It's a true cut-and-come-again green. Snip a few outer leaves, and the plant keeps producing new ones week after week. Whether you grow it in the ground, raised beds, or deep containers, it responds with steady growth and stunning color. With just a bit of mulch or a row cover, it can even survive light freezes and bounce back stronger in spring. In the kitchen, chard is wonderfully versatile. The young leaves are tender for salads, while mature leaves bring depth to sauté, soups, and stews. And those bright stems, they add a pop of flavor and color to any dish. Swiss chard is the plant that reminds us winter isn't dull. It's simply a different palette waiting for someone to paint with it. 20. Green onions. Bunching onions. The effortless garden gift. Green onions or scallions are the quiet workhorses of the garden. Humble, hardy, and always useful. For anyone who loves to cook, they're the plant that never disappoints. You can snip their green tops again and again, and they'll keep regrowing like loyal friends through the coldest months. In November, when many plants struggle, green onions are just hitting their stride. Sow seeds or transplant small seedlings into beds or containers, spacing them an inch apart. They don't demand much, just sunlight, moisture, and a bit of patience. Once established, you can harvest the greens anytime, and if you leave the white base, new shoots will grow right back. It's a cycle of giving that keeps your garden and your kitchen alive all winter long. Green onions are incredibly resilient. Light frost, they shrug it off. Short daylight, they keep growing slowly but steadily. And for small space gardeners, they're gold, thriving in pots, window boxes, or tucked between other crops. Their mild flavor brightens winter dishes, reminding you that freshness doesn't belong only to summer. Green onions prove that, with a little care, even the simplest plants can bring endless joy. 21. Parsley. The evergreen spirit of winter, parsley may be small and unassuming, but it carries a quiet strength that every gardener learns to admire. When most herbs fade at the first hint of frost, parsley stays. Steadfast, deep green, and full of life. It's the kind of plant that reminds you that true beauty lies in persistence. Whether you grow the curly kind that looks like a garden jewel or the flat-leaf Italian variety prized by chefs, parsley will keep your garden and your kitchen vibrant long after autumn fades. What makes parsley special in November is its love for cool air. It actually prefers the chill, growing stronger and more fragrant as temperatures drop. Start it from seed or transplant a young plant into a sunny spot, and it will settle in comfortably, sending out fresh new shoots even when the days are short. A layer of mulch or a simple frost cloth is all it needs to carry on through winter. Parsley grows beautifully in containers, raised beds, or tucked between other vegetables. And beyond its beauty, it's a nutritional powerhouse, packed with vitamins and a burst of freshness that lifts any dish. Snip a few sprigs for soups, salads, or even a morning smoothie, and you'll feel the garden's energy all season long. In many ways, parsley is a reflection of the gardener's spirit. Humble but enduring, quietly growing through the cold while waiting for spring to bloom again. Part 5. Herbs and overwintering heroes. As winter settles in, some plants don't retreat. They dig deeper, growing slowly but surely beneath the chill. These are the herbs and hardy crops that carry the promise of spring within them. They fill the cold months with fragrance, color, and quiet strength, reminding every gardener that even in November, life continues, steady, green, and full of flavor. 22. Cilantro, the winter fragrance. That loves the cold, cilantro is a plant that finally finds its peace in November. While it bolts and withers in the summer heat, it absolutely thrives when the air turns crisp. The cooler temperatures slow its growth, deepen its flavor, and extend its life far longer than it ever manages in warm months. For gardeners who've struggled to keep cilantro alive before, fall and winter are your redemption seasons. Sow cilantro seeds directly into the soil or in wide pots where it can spread comfortably. It prefers full sun but doesn't mind a little shade, especially when the days grow short. The secret to success is consistency. Keep the soil moist but never soggy, and harvest the outer leaves first to encourage continuous growth. In cooler climates, a bit of light cover or a sunny windowsill can help it thrive all winter long. Cilantro isn't just for flavor, it's for feeling. There's something uplifting about brushing your hand across those delicate leaves and breathing in their fresh, citrusy scent on a cold morning. It's a reminder that even as the seasons shift, the garden still has life to give. And when you pick a handful for a soup or taco garnish in the heart of winter, you'll know you've unlocked one of the simplest joys of cool weather gardening. January 23, Dill, the gentle breeze of winter gardens. Dill is one of those plants that surprises gardeners. Delicate in appearance, yet surprisingly tough when the cold sets in. Its feathery leaves dance in the lightest breeze, releasing that unmistakable aroma of fresh, clean green. In summer, dill often wilts from the heat, but in November it grows beautifully, its flavor softening and sweetening with each cool night. Sow dill seeds directly into your beds or containers, spacing them a few inches apart. They don't like to be transplanted, so let them grow where they're planted. With steady moisture and a touch of protection from harsh frost, dill can keep growing throughout winter, even bouncing back after a light freeze. If you want a steady supply, plant a new row every few weeks. That way you'll always have young, tender fronds ready for harvest. Dill brings more than flavor, it brings atmosphere. Its tall, wispy stems look like miniature fireworks in the garden, softening the edges of your beds and adding a touch of whimsy to the cold landscape. In the kitchen, its flavor bridges the seasons, bright enough for salads, soothing enough for stews. Growing dill in winter feels like a small rebellion against the season's stillness, a fragrant whisper that says, the garden isn't done yet. 24. Garlic. The patient guardian of the garden, garlic is not just a crop, it's a promise to your future self. You plant it now, in the quiet of November, and months later when summer returns, it rewards you with bulbs full of strength and flavor. It's one of the few vegetables that thrives in stillness, quietly growing roots beneath the cold soil all winter long. For gardeners, garlic is a lesson in patience and faith, that even when nothing seems to be happening, life is taking shape beneath the surface. To grow garlic, separate the cloves and plant them pointy side up, about 2 inches deep and 6 inches apart. Cover with rich soil and a cozy layer of mulch. That's it. The earth does the rest. As frost settles, the cloves send roots down deep, anchoring themselves for the months ahead. In early spring, green shoots will appear like little flags of hope, reminding you that you planted something powerful. Garlic is incredibly resilient. It loves the cold, resists pests, and demands very little care. And the payoff? Flavor that can't be matched by any store-bought bulb. Whether you grow hard-neck varieties with their bold aroma or soft-neck types perfect for braiding, each harvest feels like uncovering treasure. Garlic keeps the rhythm of nature alive in your garden, silent now, but ready to burst forth when the time is right. 25. Leeks, the winter. Gentlemen of the garden, leeks are elegance made edible, tall, graceful, and endlessly reliable. In the hush of winter, when most gardens look bare, leeks stand proud, their pale stems gleaming like candlelight against the cold soil. They're one of the most forgiving crops you can grow in November, thriving in chilly air and gentle sunlight. Start by planting seedlings or young transplants into deep, loose soil. Bury them so that only a few inches of green tops remain above ground. This helps them form long, tender white stalks. Water them regularly and add a bit of compost or mulch to keep the roots warm. Once established, leeks can handle frost, snow, and even short freezes without complaint. They're true cold weather champions. The flavor of leeks is delicate, somewhere between onion and garlic, but smoother and sweeter. They're perfect for soups, quiches, or slow-cooked stews, the kind of meals that warm the heart on a gray day. And the best part? You can harvest them over months, pulling just what you need while the rest stay fresh in the ground. For gardeners who love beauty and simplicity, leeks are perfection. They ask for little, give generously, and stand tall through every season. A final reminder that the garden's strength lies in quiet endurance. The quiet magic of November, gardening. As the last leaves fall and the air turns crisp, most people pack away their garden tools, thinking the growing season is over. But you and I, we know better. November isn't the end. It's simply a softer rhythm, a quieter chapter where the earth whispers instead of shouts. The frost becomes our ally, the cold our teacher, and every seed we plant now carries a secret. The promise of life returning stronger than before. You've seen how kale stands firm through frost, how carrots turn sweeter underground, how garlic dreams beneath the soil waiting for spring. These 25 vegetables are more than just crops. They're companions for the season ahead. They remind us that growth isn't about perfect weather. It's about persistence, care, and a little faith that nature will meet us halfway. So, whether you're tending a backyard patch, a balcony garden, or a few pots by your kitchen window, know this: your November garden matters. Every green leaf, every root, every breath of cold air connecting you to the living world, it all counts. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these veggies are you planting this month? What's thriving in your garden right now? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might just inspire another gardener. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe to Earthly Delights and tap that bell icon. Here we grow together. One season, one seed, one small act of care at a time. Until next time, keep your hands in the soil and your heart in the garden.